Hello and welcome back. Rugby is back and so am I. I'm David Flatman and I'm here in my house with Gallagher Premiership Rugby to bring you the juiciest pieces of action, the best bits, the biggest moments from the competition this weekend. And we've decided to call this show, this roundup, the Lowdown, because it sounds punchy and we think it works. And it definitely 100% works. So rugby is back, and that is great news. But finally, after what feels like eons away, the fans are back too. And I'm fascinated to find out whether or not that has an effect on results with home advantage and all that. Maybe it's just me that's interested in that. I think it probably is just me. Anyway, whether it has an effect or not, the fans are back and they're up for it.
And look who's back.
What a weekend. It's been everything we hoped for and more. Now, one team who weren't able to deliver a win in front of their returning hordes were Bristol Bears in a game, well, we saw the game coming. I'm not sure anyone outside the Sarries dressing room saw the result coming. In a sense, dear viewer, this is a clip designed to deceive you, because if you saw the game live, you'll know that this is about the only really fun thing Sarries did on Friday night. Beautiful kick through from Lazowski, he played excellently, nice finish from Lewington, but otherwise it was proper old school Sarries. Pressure, basics, kick the points and repeat. They look nothing like a newly promoted team. They look just like the old Saracens that beat everybody, and I bet you they do a lot of winning this season. The truth about Friday night was very impressive win by Sarries, but there was something like 984 kicks in the first 12 minutes, and parts of that game, lots of that game, were an absolute snorefest. However, it's still an impressive victory, still an impressive feat. I wouldn't bet any money against Saracens being a top four side. If you do, you're a braver man than me. What a club they are. Now, I would like to take you to the Midlands, because I would like now to talk about George Ford.
A penalty at worst here for Leicester, but still they come forwards.
What I like most about watching George Ford is his timing of the pass at the line, the bravery to take it to the line even when the big ogres are coming to get him, because he's not a huge bloke, but his pass selection, his timing, his weight is just gorgeous. Have a look at him here, number 10 in green. He's not looking out to look at his options, he's just waiting for the ball. He knows, he backs himself to make the right decision at the very last split second. Very highly rated player, I think still an underrated player. I guess my point with George Ford is that we're all very rightly excited about Marcus Smith, and I want to see him play for England 100, 200, 600 times, whatever. I love watching him play. But don't forget about George Ford. With a big pack in front of him, performing like the Leicester Tigers pack is end of last season and seemingly the beginning of this season, I still think he's one of the best attacking players in the game, let alone the country. Right, to six ways, where one of the big shiny new signings has had the desired impact on debut. This had all the hallmarks of a lovely scrum from London Irish. Look at that body shape, legs pumping, beautiful stuff. But they did something naughty, very, very naughty indeed. And Willie Hines, wily enough, the fleetness of mind to pounce. Still felt like somebody should have stopped him, but they didn't. He's wiry, he's strong, he's clever, he's still got the legs. Class finish from a class player. So from one of the most experienced players in the Premiership to someone who's significantly less experienced but every bit as exciting, Adam Radwan, actually probably more exciting. Can I say that without being offensive to Willie Hines? I think I can. More exciting. Adam Radwan was a joke last season at times, unplayable. Could he continue that form? Yes, it turns out he could, because he was a joke again in round one. Like a joke in a good way, like a really good joke. The thing about Adam Radwan is he's one of those players who's so quick, a bit like Lewis Rees-Zammit, that all anyone talks about is how quick he is, how quick they are. And I do want to see him in a foot race against Lewis Rees-Zammit. Can somebody sponsor that, like some big brand sponsor it, or put him against a cheetah like Brian Habana did, or something? I just want to see him race. But Adam Radwan is so much more than just a quick guy. He is a quick guy, but he runs clever lines, his hands are good, his finishing's good, and yes, his speed, that acceleration for the first try of just a couple of yards, just brutal to try and mark, absolutely brutal. I've loved watching him for a long time. I think Newcastle are at their best when they've got superstar wingers. Think about Sonotti, think about Gallagher, when they've got proper strike men out wide. That's when they look their best. And this back line is young, it's exciting, it's rapid. Right, let's move on to kicking. Let's move on to the 50-22. You know all about it by now. You don't need me to explain it. But let's have a look at how it might have impacted the approach of the respective sides. This is a beautiful kick. Didn't expect to see many 50-22s from scrum halves. I don't know how many we will see. Richard Wigglesworth isn't playing, so we'll see a few fewer, but that is a hell of a kick. But for me, he goes too far here. Look, he's super keen. He's so happy with himself. He wants all the lads to be up with him, ready for the quick one. They're not up for it at all because it's the first game of the season. They're all hanging except him because he weighs 11 stone. But he's very, very happy, and rightly so. It is a wonderful kick. And this example from Owen Williams is probably a better kick, actually, because he's got about 3/4 of a square inch to land that behind the defender. That is a thing of beauty, that kick. The idea of the 50-22, of course, is that defences drop more players into the backfield to guard against that potentially really advantageous kick for the attacking side, and there's more space in the defensive line on the edges, fewer numbers, whatever, more breaks, more tries. We don't know how it's going to work out yet. I think it's worth a go. It could mean that teams just kick loads more to try and find that advantage, which would be a bit dull, but we can always change it back, right? Anyway, regardless, they were two spiffing examples of 50-22s, absolute beauties, the pair of them. So up to the AJ Bell, where at 17-0 down against Sale Sharks, things were not looking too rosy for Bath at all, but they mounted a heroic comeback, did the West Country men, got themselves very close indeed, and it all came down to a clutch kick for young 19-year-old fly half Orlando Bailey in injury time.
19 years old. It's Bailey for the victory. Has it got the distance? It's dropping just short, and Sam James will dispatch the ball into the stands.
Unless you're a Sale Sharks fan, no one likes to see that. A young up-and-coming fly half who's only 19, missing a high-pressure, injury-time clutch kick like that. We don't like to see that. We do like to see opposition players running in, including Manu Tuolangi, Rohan Janssen van Rensburg, running in, arm round him, telling him it's all going to be all right. We really like that. That's good stuff, boys. Right, we're going to bounce from Manchester to Northampton, where at Franklin's Gardens, Northampton Saints took on Gloucester. And we've got a clip for you now, which we think kind of sums up a reasonably chaotic game.
All there for Northampton. The ball is back for Grayson, and Grayson is charged down.
I mean, why not line up a drop goal when you've got none of your players blocking any defenders whatsoever or getting anyone's way so they can charge you down? How about that pickup? Absolutely ridiculous from Freddie Clark. It's like David Campese. Johnny May will hate the fact that he hasn't scored this. I reckon Reece Sammet, I reckon Radwan score that. Maybe even George Furbank scores that himself. But how about those covering tackles from Furbank and from Tom Collins, both of whom played well. George Furbank was just sensational in attack. Loved watching him in the open spaces, but that cover tackle for me was his best moment. It was a slightly wild game with both teams switching off, it seemed, at points, but frankly, that often makes it a better watch. So that's it for the clips and chat just for now, but we're going to have a look on social media and see what the punters were saying over the weekend. And the first punter is a guy called Tom Shanklin, who played for Saracens and then went to play for Wales for a couple of seasons because he couldn't get in the England team. Piatow tonight is like me on Call of Duty circa 2007, a class above, says Shanks. Grow up, say I. Sam Roberts, commentator. Charles Piatow could beat you to your keys in your own pocket. Brilliant line, Sam, absolutely brilliant line. Love that. I'll steal it. Did you steal it? Be honest. We don't mind if you did. We've all done it. Just tell us if you stole it, okay? Fezcast, SSA on Twitter. Well, incredible defence, they say. And is that Lazowski's best game in a Sarri shirt? I think it was too. Plenty of kick tennis? Yes, there was. But the basics were done so well. Yes, they were. And that Wolfpack was like watching a team of Jack Berger clones. That's actually a really good analogy. I think it probably was. Great commitment to the plan, commitment to the game plan, commitment to the collision, commitment to the basics. Outstanding stuff from Saracens. Hashtag stronger together. Cheesy hashtags don't do it for me, but whatever floats your boat, that's absolutely fine. Simon on Twitter. Here's a thought. With Sarries beating Bears 9-26 and Tigers beating Chiefs 34-19, have we just seen a preview of the semi-finals? No, I don't think we have, but I like the idea. Squidge Rugby, these guys know what they're talking about. George Ford plays like he's in a time loop movie and knows exactly what the defence is going to do in every phase and exactly how to unpick it because he's lived it a gazillion times. He's unbelievable. One of the replies is, he's so good and has been for years, why does he split opinion? Agree entirely, guys. Agree entirely. I think the bloke's an absolute wonder when he's on it and behind a good pack. And Benjamin Sutton asked this on Twitter. If Eddie Jones does pick Marcus Smith Tommy Allen might become the signing of the season. Yeah, good point, until he gets picked for Italy because he's playing so well for Quins. Do you know what I mean? Hope it doesn't bite them. I want him to get picked for Italy if he wants to, but I want Quins to keep him so I get to see him, we get to see him. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, that's enough of the social stuff. I'm now going to talk about 5 signings, 5 overseas signings that I find really intriguing. They might have slipped under your radar. They have not slipped under mine. Hosea Salmaki signed for Leicester, nicknamed the Tongan Godzilla. That is a great nickname. Played in Japan since high school, including a successful stint for Sunwolves in Super Rugby. Explosive ball carrier with terrific finishing ability. Kirill Gotashev, a Russian prop who signed for Gloucester with a very unusual sporting background, a medalist in freestyle wrestling at national level, and also a former brakeman in bobsleigh. He'll be looking to stop a few fast-moving objects himself at Kingsholm this season. He's reputed to be a very powerful scrummager indeed. We'll see. He was also in Russia's World Cup squad in 2019. Vair Fifita, who signed for Wasps, the New Zealand loose forward, best known, I think, for an outrageous galloping try against Argentina on his All Blacks debut. A rare opportunity to see a really high-class All Black in the Gallagher Premiership. I hope he has as much influence for Wasps as Stephen Luatua has for Bristol. Not an easy man to match is Luatua, but Fifita might just manage it, and he is absolutely rapid. Tommy Allen, who signed for Harlequins, the Italian fly half who came through the Wasps Academy, got experience playing club rugby in South Africa, Italy and France, in addition, of course, to 2 World Cups with the Azzurri. Courtnall Skosan has signed for Northampton, a South African winger with explosive pace and a lovely pair of hands, which should rival any winger in the Gallagher Prem this season. Over 100 Super Rugby appearances for Lions and the Bulls, but I tell you what, the first job he's going to have on his hands is getting in the Saints first team, because they've got some quality back 3 players up there. Thanks folks, that's all for round 1. Thanks for joining us. Pop on social media if you like, if you're that way inclined. Let us know what you think. We might even give you a shout out next week. We only read out the nice ones. Obviously we're not stupid. Unless the trolling is really, really good, really clever, then we might read one of those out. Don't forget, all the highlights, all the full games are on PRTV. Have a great week. See you next Monday night for more of the Lowdown. Yeah, it definitely works. Lowdown definitely works.